In this exciting episode of CKTV, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a very hot topic, which is split testing. Now, if you're not split testing your websites, you really are leaving money on the table. And what's funny here is I've just been so busy with other sites and work that my Social Monkey homepage, we haven't split test in over a year and a half. And about 22 days ago, we said, okay, this simply has to change. We made time to do it. And you see that inside my Google Analytics account, you can see we've been running a test. So what we were running was a test between our original website and a new index page that we made. Now, when you do split testing, what's very important is that you only make one change at a time if you're going to do a simple A/B split test. Now, of course, you get something called multivariant split testing, and in a future episode, we'll definitely cover that. But for the sake of this episode, and to begin with, to make your biggest changes at the beginning, you just want to do an A/B split test. Now, the reason why you don't want to change more than one thing on a page at a time is because then you don't know which change is driving the results. And sometimes something as simple as a different word changes the outcome. So let's dig straight in. So I want to show you the two pages that we have here, and you can see that the visits that were sent, for some reason Google sends a lot more visits to the second page than the first in this example, more than twice as much. But we can see by the number of conversions, which are almost 4 times as much, that you can see what you get, your conversion rate there from visitor to the site to actual site up paid member, and what we're getting as a conversion there. So the percentage change is a 44% increase, which means that over the last 22 days, this page has been performing 44% better than the page that we had for 18 months. So if you can take that over a period of 18 months, then you'd see that there's actually a lot of money left on the table by us not doing the split test sooner. And if we look at the probability of outperforming the original, there's an 82.2% probability that it will outperform. So ideally, under normal circumstances, what you will do is you'll leave this test to run longer. In my case, 30 days would have been the minimum probably with this level of traffic, because we want to see if this can get up to 90 to 95%. But after 22 days and after this many visits, I'm happy that index 2 is comfortably outperforming our original page. So let's have a quick look at the two, and we'll look at the change that we made. Okay, so this was the first index page that we had. Now this is the one we had for quite a long time. Now we did change it and update it obviously as the site changed, but you see basically what we had is we had a video here that you can play, and it auto plays when you arrive. Now we obviously didn't change that. What we changed was here. So underneath the sign up form, we have this button that says, need more info to see if Social Monkey is right for you. Click here to find out more. Okay, and so this was the whole page before, and people would look at this and then they'd make a decision on this, or they could click here to see more. And then they click it to move it away. It's an Ajax thing that loads the sales page. So what we did was we created index 2. And now this is index 2. So you see the big button thing saying click here to see more, etc. We removed that, and instead we just had the whole sales page directly out. So the only thing we changed, everything else stayed the same. The only thing we changed was removing the green button, and instead of having a very short sales page with an optional long sales page, we went directly into the long sales page. And this one is the one that performed best, as we've seen on the results. So once again, the only change was this button was removed and the full sales page was loaded. So like this without that there. That was the only change between the two pages. And as you can see from our experiments, we believe, and based on data, index 2 is performing much better. So now what's exciting is I have prepared another split test that we're going to start running. And the reason I'm doing this is that we can actually show you how you can set up your own inside Google Analytics. So I'm going to stop this experiment now. I'm happy with those results, okay? So we're going to stop that. But now it's going to start sending all the visitors back to its regular page. We don't want that at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at our next split test. What you do is in the sidebar, you're going to click on Experiments, which is positioned under the Content tab. So you'll open Content, you'll come down, you'll click Experiments. And here you see, here's my first experiment and when I started and stopped it. And now we're going to create a new experiment, okay? And it says, enter the URL of the page you want to improve. So this would be our socialmonkey.com page, and we're going to click Start the Experiment. So then you give the experiment a name, and in this case we want to name it we're going to call it SM Home Very Purchase. Now I'm going to explain that to you in a second. Now the objective of this experiment is goal set 1, so sign up completed. So in order to create this, what you do is you go to conversions on the bottom left, and then you click on goals, and from there you just follow the simple setup on creating a goal. Okay, so I'm not going to do that now because we're busy setting this up, but basically you choose your objective, which means what is the outcome. In my case, it's people pay the $7 and then return back. Okay, so and they return and they see the OTO. So I'm going to choose that as an option. I'm going to experiment with all 100% of traffic. Okay, and I don't need to be notified by email because I'm going to check this regularly anyway. And here you can choose the minimum it must run to and a confidence threshold. Now I want it to be at least 95% sure, and I want it to run a minimum of 2 weeks. Okay, and then we click next step. Now from here you see it's going to load the preview for us, and I don't want it to just load socialmonkey.com because that's still using this page here, which obviously I will change at some stage, but for the purpose of this video I wanted you to see it. So we're actually going to use this page as our new default page because this one outperformed the last one. So I'm just going to take the index 2 part of that, and I'm going to go back here and I'm going to put /index2. Now it's loading the preview there, and so this will now be the main page, which is now our original. This is the new original. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that, and the variation page is going to be, once again, it's going to be Social Monkey, but instead of index 2 it's going to be index3.php, which is the one we've created, and we're going to keep calling this variation 1 for now. Alright, so what we might do is we might actually name this one variation 1 because it now is our variation 1, and this is variation 2. And from these images, they look the same. What changes is what happened below. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly show you what we did. So you know index 2, you've seen it, it's the full sales page. But what we're now testing is we're leaving everything else the same. There's so many things we can split test. We can split test these, we can split test this, we can split test our headline, we can split test a different video, different locations of the sign up form, and of course different add to cart buttons with like probably nice big reds around it and things like that. But what we've decided to do is I took a little bit of inspiration from another site, and what we've decided to do is we've decided to add this in here. So the difference is it's exactly the same. The only change is there's a graphic here and there's this plugin here, this site, and so everything else is the same as index 2, but between you can opt out at any time, and our first headline we've added this in here. Now this is our real customers that are scrolling through here, data provided by Very Purchase. Okay, and we put here these people just joined Social Monkey. They are now building backlinks in just a few clicks. What about you? Simply fill out the short form above to join them. Here's the short form. So this is the page we're now going to be testing, and we're going to see if this increases or decreases our conversions because it's social proofing. People see that there's a lot of people joining. Okay, and what this is this is a Very Purchase app, and I'm going to put a link to Very Purchase below this video for you to check it out. Now it works with ClickBank products, so if you sell a ClickBank product, you might want to try setting up some split testing, an A/B split test, where your last customers are pulled. And what's interesting about this is, let's go back to our video 3. When you click here for information, it says that this is a trusted third-party company that collects and displays customer data for ClickBank vendors. Okay, now it dates back a maximum of 6 months and only includes non-reverse transactions. So it's only showing names of people who've purchased in the last 6 months who are still active members and haven't refunded. And it also only pulls 200 at a time. So we've had a lot more than 200 obviously, but you can see all these names scrolling through here. And as new purchases come in, their names will be added as well. But for privacy, it's all it does is it shows the first name, the surname initial, and what country they come from. And that's it, okay? But it provides social proofing. So I think that this test could do quite well. The link to VeryPurchase will be below, and as I said, if you have a ClickBank product, then that could be a good split test you can do. What we're going to do is we're going to set this up, and we're going to tell you about the results in a future video. So I very quickly paused the video and went and installed this code. So the way you do it is you make sure that you have analytics on the both pages. So that's very easy. I mean, you just have a plugin or install site-wide analytics, so you don't have to worry with that. And then here, what you do is this code goes in your original page, so the first split test. So in my case, what we're setting up here, this code will go in index2.php and not on index 3. Index 3 will be without this code, but we'll obviously have the analytics tracking code. So now we've done that, we click next step, okay? And now we have a look here. So it's actually saying that there's an issue. And this is what's so great about this. It's really dummy proof, like I'm a bit of a dummy. So what it's telling me here is that on variation 2, Google Analytics code is found. But here they're telling me that there's a bit of a problem on this. So I'm just going to pause this and quickly get that fixed. Okay, so now I'm going to click revalidate, because what this basically means is that the analytic code on the website, so Google Analytics, was higher in the code than the experiment code. And what Google is saying is that they're saying that the Google Analytics code should come underneath the experiments code. The experiments code should be above it. The reason is because it hits the experiments code first, and then before it tracks it on analytics, it decides which page it's going to send it to, and then it tracks it. So if analytics comes first, it's going to mess with the stats. So let's revalidate and see if we've got that right. Okay, we have 2 ticks. That's perfect. So experiment code found and Google Analytics found, and they're in the right order. And on my variation, Google Analytics code is found. Now I can put in a note for this experiment. I'm not going to. I'm just going to hit start experiment. And now it says experiment launched. So they're starting to collect data 24 to 48 hours, and I can come back in a day to 2 days and start seeing the results live, as we saw with the other one. When we looked at this one, that's already ended. So this is now running. And what I'm going to do is, you've now seen how to set up your own split testing, A/B split testing, and I've given you one option of what you can do, social proofing. If you use a ClickBank product, maybe you want to try VeryPurchase. If you don't have a ClickBank product, remember what I split test at the beginning. I split test a short sales page with the potential to make it long if you click a button, versus just a long sales page. And the long sales page for me outperformed. Now don't assume that because that happened to me, it's going to happen on your product as well. But as I was saying before, there's so many different things that you can start split testing. So if we look here, you can, if you have video on your page, you can split test a different video. 2 of the biggest things to split test that you should do at the beginning that can potentially make the biggest difference is split test your main headline. And on most sales pages, the main headline is up higher. For me, it's down lower, so it's of less importance. But if this is the first thing your visitors see, you have about 4 to 5 seconds to really catch their attention and get them to stay on the site longer. So really split test, try different variations of your headline, and also a later test to do would be different variations of your checkout button. But as you can see, we've gone and we've set up our split testing. It's busy running, and in a later CKTV episode, I'm going to update you on the progress of VeryPurchase and how well it's working out for us. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and we really hope that you got some benefit from it, and the team here at CK will see you in a future CKTV episode.